Welcome to the Workbench After Hours podcast. My name is Keith, and I'm your host. This is where we talk about the firearms community, shop talk, and everyday life experiences. Welcome to episode 58 of the Workbench After Hours podcast. My name is Keith. Chris is here with me. And this week, we're going to talk about the current state of the gun community and everything that's going on, good and bad.
Yeah,
a lot. A lot to talk about. Unfortunately, more bad than good, but we'll get into that. But first, Chris, take it away.
Well, the whiskey of the week is Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Ooh, let's see how we can turn this so everyone can read it. So,
all right, we did this with our blind testing.
Yeah,
but we had never tried it, so
I don't even think I've had Wild Turkey by itself.
I haven't.
Yeah, so it says it's 116.8 barrel proof, which kind of scares me because you know there's going to be heat.
Oh yeah, but it should be good with the ice. Once
Yeah.
we get to that point.
Yeah, they said what we're supposed to smell, or the aroma, is supposed to be full of spring flowers and a touch of black pepper and almonds mixed with layers of honey and dates. So, I don't know if I'm going to be able to smell that. Ooh, we can definitely smell the proof.
You think so? Let me
Oh,
pour a
yeah.
little bit more in my glass, and I'll see.
You can smell the honey really good.
Yeah, now I got the proof. I get some sweetness a little
Yeah.
bit. Probably the honey.
I don't smell the black pepper like I thought I would.
Yeah.
I get mostly
Green
the honey.
flowers.
Yeah.
I mean, it smells good. It smells like it's
Yeah.
going to be sweet.
Yeah.
Who knows? So our taste is going to be
Warm, smoky flavors of grain and spice. And on the finish, on the back end, we're supposed to have a long lingering of spices.
all right.
So
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Sweet at first. You
Yep.
get that definitely tasting the honey
Yep.
and
Definitely getting the spice on the back end.
yeah, but it's not
It's not like crazy amounts of spice.
it's not overwhelming at all.
No. You definitely get the honey though, and like sweetness up front.
Yeah, that's different than a lot of them that we tried. This is probably the sweetest,
Yeah.
especially at a barrel proof
Yeah.
up front. Yeah, there's some burn at the back end, but not as much as I was expecting with that proof.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I thought it would have been a lot warmer and longer.
So it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, these bottles are going for like $50 now,
Yeah.
but you know, they're good. I mean, we've heard a lot of good things on SLB
Yeah.
drinks.
I think that's like their go-to.
Yeah. It's anything Wild Turkey, really.
Yeah. Bold Spirits of Wild Turkey is a faithfully represented in every drop of its authentic barrel proof whiskey. The original small batch barrel proof bourbon. A blend of your finest selection of 6 to 8 to 12 years of bourbon. No water is added before bottling for curated shipping and the sipping experience like drinking straight from the cask. The intense vanilla and exceptional mouthful have made this expression legendary in its own right. Best enjoyed neat or on the rocks.
Oh, we're doing both.
No, it's funny they say vanilla in there. It wasn't in their notes at all for like smell, taste.
Yeah.
They mostly talked about the honey.
See what it tastes like on ice.
Yeah. 6 to 8 to 12 years.
I wonder if the ice is going to mess with that sweetness.
I think it more the burn and the spice on the back end.
So it's a
used to do.
blend of the 6, 8, and 12 years.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of each.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to know.
I would assume cost wise, you're probably getting more of the 6,
In the 8.
8, more, and then
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of the 12.
Splash of the 12.
Right.
I don't know. That'd be interesting to know.
Yeah, we need to try. I want to try
Regular wild turkey.
regular Wild Turkey in the 101.
Yeah. Yeah. SML or SLB drinks, they love wild turkey. They also like higher proofs too, I've noticed.
Yep. And I mean, we're getting to the point where
Yeah, it's starting not to bother us like it used to.
still sweet. I almost want to say it enhances the sweetness a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And you can pick up that vanilla now, too, on the front end.
Yeah, a lot of vanilla and honey on the front.
Yeah.
Not, kind of takes away the pepperiness.
Yeah. Still get that little burn, but that's probably just the proof.
Yeah, so this, surprisingly, this would be a good one for beginners.
Yeah.
With that sweetness at the
At
front
the
end.
front.
Yeah, so this would be another good.
This would be a nice
whiskey.
cold day
Yeah.
drink.
I think any sweeter than this, I don't think I'd like it.
Yeah.
I think it's
Just
to the
right.
max
Yeah.
that I would like the sweetness. Kind of like we've tried Knob Creek and
Yeah.
the maple. I did not like it. It was way too sweet.
Yeah. I don't know. The maple ones, I think it's just all the sugar that we get up front.
Yeah. For some reason, SLB drinks, they like
Yeah.
Knob Creek. Maybe, have we tried the 9-year? Is that the one that you brought over a long time ago?
I think so. I wasn't a big fan of Knob Creek.
I wonder if your opinion would change now.
I don't know.
Because you also didn't used to like rye.
Yeah, and now I'll love rye for all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I think that we can thank Jack Daniels rye for that, maybe.
Yeah, Jack. That's a go-to.
Yeah. Found that bottle of Sazerac rye.
Yeah.
Was on allocation. Finally, they got some in. So it was only like $33. I'm like, well, I haven't seen it. It's on allocation. I'm going to pick it up. And then it's actually from New Orleans.
Really?
Yeah, one of theirs. And there's a Sazerac cocktail drink that is made with it, like lemon and like some bitters and stuff. It's supposed to be served instead of on the rocks in a chilled glass. So you freeze your glass and then do all this, make your cocktail and serve it that way.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's because I googled that whiskey, the rye, and one of the first videos that comes up is SLB drinks. It was 2 years ago, and that he was making that cocktail.
Huh.
So I don't know. I think when we do try that one, we should also try that cocktail.
Yeah, we should.
So
We'll give it a shot.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. I like this.
Yeah, it's different. I thought I was going to hate it because of the proof, but it's not that bad.
Yep. I don't think I could have a lot of this at once, just because it is sweet. But
That's more of just like a sipping whiskey,
yep.
or what I call a nightcap.
Yep. My nightcaps are more than one drink. But
Yeah.
you know, I definitely still feel warm.
Oh, yeah. You
Like it's
definitely,
made me warm.
yeah. It's definitely warm.
I'm like, is it getting hot in here? Nope. That's the barrel proof for you.
Yep. Ooh.
All right.
I thought for sure that ice would have cooled it down a little bit, but nope.
Well, I guess it's my segment.
Yep. Gun of the week.
Gun of the week. Old school gun here. Was it a couple episodes ago? We did the Mosin Nagant M44, and then before that, we did the actual Mosin Nagant M9130.
Yep.
Go with those. And another gun in my collection is I have the Nagant M1895 revolver. So these are actually pretty hard to find now. They used to be, again, surplus guns. You could find them cheap all over the place for like next to nothing. When I was looking for this, once I started collecting the Mosins and then found out about this, you could still buy them at like Classic Firearms and everything like that, but they were getting harder and harder to find, especially in decent condition. So I think I paid maybe, I want to say $200 or $300 for this.
That ain't bad.
They're definitely going for a lot more on Gunbroker now, if you can find them. I mean, so they're really cool. So this is obviously an old design, 1895, but it was actually designed by the brothers who made and designed the Mosin Nagants. So one of the brothers, I forget his name, Leon Nagant, and his brother Emil were the two that were known for the Mosin Nagants. So one of the brothers actually kind of designed this. So pretty cool. It was produced by Leon Nagant for the Russian Empire. This is obviously pre-war, but then when they got into the war,
Mass produce.
yeah. And so this would be carried just like this. So this is the original holster that it came in. You see it comes with the cleaning rod, and then there's a little pouch here built in where you would keep your ammo. So pretty cool. It's amazing looking at the holsters now.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to the stuff that they had in surplus back then. It's like, this is
Big, bulky.
yeah, like And like if you're an officer carrying this, I mean, this is taking up a lot of
It's just like the
space
old
on your person.
westerns that we used to watch.
Yeah.
They're freaking big, bulky too.
So a lot of these, they were produced or they were in service from 1895 and are still. They were in quite a bit of the wars. World War One, Russian Revolution of 1917, Russian Civilian War, Polish Soviet War, Spanish Civil War, or was it Winter War, World War II, Chinese, Vietnam, and some other rebellion. So they've been around. Yeah, it was produced from 1895 to 1945. And it started in the Tula factory and then went to Warsaw and then Izvicek. I can never say that right.
It's so hard to pronounce
Yes.
Russian.
But they're around plus or minus about 2 million made. So it's weighs about 1.8 pounds. So it's got a little bit of weight to it. Not too bad.
Oh, geez.
I mean, it's a revolver.
Yeah.
Especially for one that old. That one was made in, I think it's stamped 1916 on the side there.
So it's 1916.
Yep. So pretty
But
cool to have.
I don't know what to pronounce.
Yeah. But pretty cool to have a revolver that was made in 1916.
Now, did they force stamp these, like the Mosins?
No,
No?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I know that one's not.
Yeah.
Because I
was
don't
just
think.
wondering because you can see one stamp here, then a little bit underneath. Looks like this frame a little bit, and then something on the trigger. I didn't know if they try to match him.
I know there wasn't a lot of arsenal refinishing quite to the extent as the both in the Nagants.
Yeah.
So the caliber is 7.62 millimeter. So 7.62 by 33 Nagant is what it's called, and it is a 7-shot.
Joe Biden's favorite.
Yep. Starts off as double action, then goes into your single action, and has a barrel of, I think, a 4.5-inch barrel. Yep.
Man, the grips back then, wood grips.
Yep.
That is,
And this is not like your Smith & Wesson revolvers or your Colts. It's different. So it actually has a gas system. So instead of like the cylinder just free spinning and like that, so there's a
little gas piston.
a little gasket right there. So when you actually close it and pull the trigger, it seals up. It moves forward into the chamber a little bit and seals that area. So if you shoot a regular revolver, you'll notice gases coming out of the side of the wheel there. With this, it seals it so you don't have those gases coming out. And that actually made it one of the very few revolvers that you can actually shoot suppressed.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. If you, I'm not going to get this on camera, but as you pull the trigger, it obviously turns, but then the
moves
cylinder goes forward
a little bit.
Yep. And there's a kind of I forgot what the part's called, but it kind of protrudes out from the barrel a little bit and locks up with that cylinder.
Yeah, it looked like almost like a flare.
Mm-hmm.
Like a flare nut, pretty much how I would describe it.
So you don't see a lot of suppressed revolvers. These were like one of the first and very few you can actually shoot suppressed because of that gas system. And if you've ever seen the rounds for this, they are interesting. So when you first look at it, it looks like an empty case.
Yeah, it does.
Like
completely.
Yeah, but no, the bullet is actually seated inside of the casing underneath. So there's like a lip that sits of the casing that goes above the actual round itself.
That would suck to reload.
It would. I don't know if you could, because what happens is once it goes in there and it seals, it actually expands the casing a little bit, so then the bullet can come out.
Oh wow!
So I don't know if you could reload these. If you do, it's going to be a little challenging.
Yeah,
but it's a rather small bullet, but it's got that 7.62 by 33.
Yeah, it looks almost like just a 223-5.56 just
inside the shell.
Inside the shell, yeah.
Yes.
That is nuts.
And I've actually shot this and like no recoil. And again, because of that gas system being sealed up, you don't get any gases coming out, and it's really cool. I don't like the sights. You got a front post sight that's blacked out. You got these little tiny notch sights that are barely notched in the rear. So the sights on these aren't very good, but still kind of cool to shoot. Not a lot of kick to it or anything. Not getting the gases with the way it's set up. And yeah, it's Interesting.
Yeah, that is. It's very interesting.
Yeah, these like I said are, and they, depending on which one you get, they come with like different colored grips.
Yeah.
And this one didn't have too much. You could see where there was some pitting that I kind of cleaned up and shined it up a little bit, but other than that, and it's not like on these you can actually just the wheel comes out and you can load all 7 at the same time. You actually it has this gate right here that goes down, and then that opens up the cylinder, and you have to do it one by one from that side. And then to get the casing out, you pull out this rod right here, you twist it, pull it out, and then it actually swings over to the cylinder, and then you
push it out.
Push it out.
Wow.
Yeah. So this would not be something quick to load and reload or unload and reload. But yeah, so that cylinder's in there. You can take the cylinder out to clean it, but yeah, to load it, you're stuck with
that. That would be the only downfall right there.
Yep. And I don't know, if you just go like this, how easy those spent rounds come out. But yeah, in wartime, it's something you're going to be shooting a lot.
That's
very
like
fast.
Dire need that you're out of your rifle and.
And I mean, it's definitely not like the Colts, where the Colts had really nice hardware. I mean, look at those screws. I mean, they're just
huge, bulky.
Yeah, not the best. So, yeah, Nagant M1895. They're cool. Crazy. So if you could find one, don't overpay for it. But of course, what does that even mean? I mean, I guess
anymore. You got to pay for what you get.
Yeah, but it is cool if you're somebody that likes to collect military surplus, especially in the Mosin Nagant or Russian firearms kind of a thing. Definitely something to have as part of your collection.
Yeah.
Maybe you can find like a old collector that's trying to get rid of some of their stuff, or maybe passed away and they have family members trying to get rid of them. You have a family member, a friend that has a collection, and you find that in there, and a lot of people might not even know what that is.
Yeah. Just see weird marking. I was like, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah. So really cool. It doesn't say the model number on the actual gun itself like they do now. So yeah, definitely different, but pretty cool. What's going on in the gun community, Chris?
A lot of craziness. A lot.
So we are just coming off a SHOT Show, which is good because that's, everybody gets together, and Jacob was talking about us trying to maybe in the next couple of years going out there, which I think would be pretty fun. And we can actually do that through the business, and be some cool stuff to do with the YouTube videos, interviewing the vendors and everything. But kind of looking and seeing what was coming out this year. Aero Precision was showcasing their bolt action rifles. We already knew those were coming out, and their suppressors, but they're actually now out for purchase.
Yep.
So I just got an email notification the other day that they've hit the website. As far as the bolt guns.
I know the suppressors were on there.
Yep.
Because I looked a couple weeks, like last week after we were talking about our topic and short barrel rifles. I was like, just go on there and start looking, I guess.
Did you see how much they're running for?
I didn't see how much those were running for. They just had like a big, like, the main page, like how Apple does, and breaks down everything. And
gotcha.
This is the features, and breaking it down, making it look all fancy for you and get you, ooh, I want this.
Yeah. Their bolt guns are pretty expensive.
Yeah. I'm sure they're probably up there.
And you could buy just the chassis or just like the receiver. You can buy them complete. Right now, they only have 6.5 Creedmoor. They're working on 6mm and 308s. So right now, you're kind of limited on the caliber, but they're branching out. But man, definitely you're spending probably close to $2,000.
Yeah, because I think when I was looking at building one like that, I think just the frame, without the barrel or anything, was $1,200 through Ruger at the time.
Yep.
And I was just like, I could just build an AR-10 platform and be happy.
Yep. Sir, Precision, if you're listening, we would love the T&E one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty cool. We've known about that for a while, but they're actually in production and for sale now. I know COVID kind of delayed that for a while, especially with the suppressors.
Yeah.
And the whole gun pandemic thing threw them off because they had to like make resources for the parts for the ARs, because that was really selling out were lowers. Arrow used to sell complete ARs.
Yep.
Those aren't on their website anymore. Basically, they're strictly the receivers or build kits, the parts, and now this stuff is coming up. So we'll see, though.
Yeah, I was on there looking for a little bit.
Yep.
It's dangerous.
Another one, and oh my God, Glock has come out with the best gun, something new and very innovative. Like, you would not expect Glock to come out with this.
Oh, yeah?
It's a Glock 47.
Ooh.
It's unlike any other model that they've done.
Really?
Yes. I'm just kidding. That was sarcasm.
I know.
It's the same gun that they had for the Border Patrol, and now they've released to the general public. And it's basically made to where you can, it's modular, in quotes, of swapping out a Gen 4 or 5, 19 slide with the frame. You could kind of interchange those parts, because it's got the 17 slide with the 19 recoil system. So you can change out the slides from between 17 and 19 in the frames. Why you would do that, I don't know.
It's not like SIG where your whole trigger assembly pops out of that modular frame, pops it in, and then you got pretty much a new gun.
So I was kind of disappointed when I saw what that was. I'm like, man, I mean, yeah, Glock's Glock, but it's about time they come out with something
I want them to
different.
build a rifle, like an AR platform rifle.
There is talk that they've done that.
Yeah, there's been talk. I want to see,
Yeah.
you know?
But, I mean, at this point, they're late to the game.
Yeah, they are.
Everybody and their mother manufactured an AR.
They need to do an AR that's bolt action, since everyone's flipping out about being, you know, semi-automatic. Do a bolt action lever one. Be the first to do that.
Yeah. Or just, I don't know, something, maybe a pistol caliber carbine.
Yeah.
Something
different.
Instead of just taking the same Glock model and changing a few different things on it.
Yeah, it's new model.
Yeah, it's
like the Gen 5 is actually a Gen 2.
Yeah, it's stupid. But that's what Glock came out with. They actually released that prior to SHOT Show, but got a new offering from them. Smith & Wesson came out with a 5.7 pistol. So if you're into that round, they now have that. One cool thing I saw is Magpul came out with a gun case. One of the ones that you fit your AR or long rifle in. And instead of having the foam inserts that you can cut out and everything, they have these like blocks that you can change around and move, and they have different angles and stuff. And it holds your gun in a lot better than the foam stuff. And then that way you can move it around. Whereas with the foam stuff, once you cut that foam,
you're done.
You're kind of screwed. So it actually looks pretty cool. They sell it as a set, or you can buy the little insert pieces separately.
Yeah.
And the actual locking system on the outside is different. Instead of having like, you usually have 2 latches on the side and like however many on the front.
Yeah.
They did 2 large ones in the front and then kind of integrated the locks with those. Looks really cool. I'm sure it's going to be expensive.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it's kind of cool Pelican.
Cool if they're selling just the inserts, because
which they do. I think it's going to be, I think they said it was like $100 for the inserts.
Because I know Harbor Freight now, they have cases that look just like Pelican.
Yep.
And I've been wanting to buy one just to see how close and the quality is and everything.
Look into that.
Yeah.
See what they can do. I don't know if those will fit any case, but
who knows?
Look on the website. But yeah, it looked really cool. Trying to think of what else was. There were some new models with Taurus and some other companies, but nothing like, oh my God, this is
something
changing.
Yeah.
But
you figured they'd have something coming out crazy just because of everything going on.
Yeah. Yeah. But still cool that every year that happens and people are releasing new things. That's probably what is hard for a company is every year now you're expected to release something new, where I'm sure it takes a lot of R&D to develop something different.
Yeah, and I bet, I don't know, it'd be interesting because I know some companies, like in the industrial side, their R&D is actually getting it out to the customers, and then customers finding problems with it, and then they go back and troubleshoot how to fix it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it drives me nuts sometimes, but
yeah,
that's how you learn, I guess.
Yeah, Yeah. So some cool stuff out. So that's the good with the gun industry. We're always
Improving new
improving.
things.
Got some new cool gadgets and toys to spend your money on.
Yeah.
Got to hide from the wife. And then you got the bad side, which we have seen a lot of stuff on the bad side recently.
Yep.
The biggest concern right now is the pistol brace ruling, which has not actually gone into effect yet because it has not been submitted to the register or whatever they got to do. So right now,
Well,
still,
first off, it's not even a law, so that's the major problem with
yes,
it.
they can't make it a law, but they're just changing how they do this, and it's the thing that's going to make it, have a lot of lawsuits and stuff, and maybe hopefully get to the courts is the fact that they're changing how they perceive something, but it's going to have a criminal effect
Yeah.
on everybody that's affected by this. So it's not just like, oh, something small, not going to be a big deal. This is a huge deal.
Yeah.
And we keep finding out more and more stuff about this as people finally get to read through all 293 pages of this and get some clarification from people at the ATF and everything. One thing that's come out recently as well is, so they give you the 120-day grace period to do this once this actually goes into effect. If you submit the Form 1, and for whatever reason your background check stays open, basically gets delayed and stays open for 88 days, after 88 days, it automatically becomes a denial, and the ATF has said they will take action to go get that gun.
That's some BS right there.
So if you have, I mean, there's been people where I've transferred things and it takes a long time. Sometimes I have to resubmit their background check just because it doesn't go through. And if that is the case, if you have a really common name or whatever, and yours, especially since this system is going to be overloaded,
oh yeah,
if everybody were to conform with this, after 88 days, it stays open and it doesn't come back as a proceed, it's automatically a denial. That's going to cause a huge issue. And they've admitted that they're going to take action at that point. So they know what gun you have at that point, who the hell you are, where you live, your fingerprints and all that, because you've submitted all that. You've also submitted the paperwork to your local sheriffs, because that's another requirement when purchasing an NFA item or registering an NFA item.
well,
You send a copy of the paperwork to your local sheriff's department. So both of those.
so here's the thing I have, right? Let's say, you do submit it, has a pistol brace on it.
Mm-hmm.
You say, F it, I just go ahead and put full-size barrel, buffer tube. They come back and trying to take action, trying to take a gun, that's legal at that point.
Again, this is where
That's
there's
another gray
questions.
area.
Yeah. Here's another thing that is going to be difficult. So there are several states, including Hawaii, California, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Rhode Island, and Washington, D.C. Big surprise there of those states.
Yeah.
SBRs are illegal. So short-barreled rifles you cannot have in those states. So right now, what you have with a pistol brace and the less than 16-inch barrel is now a pistol,
Yep.
which,
They're trying to make an SBR.
I mean, in those states, if you have that, I'm sure you have a limited capacity magazine and featureless.
Yeah.
But if you have that legally in those states as a pistol, once this goes into effect, and you have to register that as an SBR because it's now going to be considered an SBR, and SBR is illegal in those states. So you're pretty much screwed.
So here's my thing, right? You're talking about DC. You think the Secret Service and things like that have NFA items?
Oh, of course they do, but this doesn't
You
apply
think
to them.
But is it registered?
Their duty weapons?
Yeah.
Probably. I
Think
don't
they're-
know.
I don't know. That'd be a thing. I'd be like, all right, fine. Let me go. Like if they had it on them, like, where's your format? Turn around and do it right back to them. Then ATF, hey, you need to take theirs.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, I get it.
at that point, I mean, technically it says it's illegal in those states.
Mm-hmm.
So no one should be having it if it's illegal. I don't care if you're government or not.
Oh, I think there's going to be there's got to be something. Of course, most or Secret Service agents are carrying
Yeah.
sidearms, so they're. But I
Yeah,
mean,
but I'm sure like in like police vehicles and things like that, you think they got
they probably have some sort of AR.
yeah.
Probably the full auto because they can and must be nice. But even though they're illegal there in DC, but
Yep.
probably doesn't apply. I'm assuming Secret Service because that's
Yeah.
a whole other thing.
Well, that and I'm sure their police and SWAT teams probably have that type of weaponry or weapons that no one else is supposed to have.
Right. So those states, if you have a pistol,
Just make it a big full AR.
you're gonna have to, get rid of the pistol and put on a regular upper.
Yeah.
I mean,
at that point, might
that's
as well.
your only option. Except in California, I mean, aren't AR-15s basically illegal in a certain setup? Anyway, I know.
I think so. I know that they can't have the 30-round magazines.
Yeah.
I think you got to have 10. Even if you're caught with a 30-round magazine, you get screwed.
Yeah, and I got a screenplay on that here in a little bit. So that's sucks for those. But I mean, if you're in those states, you deal with this on a regular basis anyway, with strict gun control. So it's nothing new for you. Move to a free state. I don't know what to tell you other than that.
Sorry.
But the biggest three: California, New York, New Jersey.
Yep.
Rhode Island, I don't know. That's weird, but
Yeah.
one of those northeastern states.
Just crazy.
Another thing is, so there is a regulation called 922R that could also come into effect here. So any imported pistol, so if you bought a pistol as an import in that setup, pistol brace, less than 16-inch barrel. So you bought that, what is now going to be a short barrel rifle, as a pistol, legally bought it as a pistol and own it as an import. It was imported from wherever, and they have a list of those guns. Because it's part of 922R, any imported pistol will be in violation of that, and they will have two options instead of the other options that they give you. Turn it in or destroy it. So if you have an imported pistol, which they're going to classify as an SBR, those are your two options. They don't give you the option to change anything about it because that would go against that 922R. It's a regulation which pertains to building or modifying a semi-automatic rifle or shotgun from imported parts. So when you get an imported stuff and you change it here, it's a violation of that.
But if you bought it as a pistol, you're not modifying it or building it at that point. So
but you can't modify it to change it into, say, like a rifle, because you're changing the parts on that, and it goes against that 922R. So if you've...
How would they know, though? Like, are they going to go through all these forms now and be like, oh, you bought a pistol?
They're going to know if you comply. So if you submit a Form 1 with an imported pistol, they're going to be like, oh, hey, this was an import. So it goes against 922R.
Don't do a Form 1 at all at this point for anyone.
So I was watching a video where an attorney was being interviewed from Gun Owners of America. As of right now, his advice is to just wait. Because one, this is not into effect. Like, this is not out yet. And once it does go into effect, there's still that 120-day grace period. There's already lawsuits in place fighting this. So you don't want to jump on this and try to register your stuff and kind of get shot in the foot.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be trying to register something that's illegal depending on where you live. So that could be, you could be incriminating yourself with trying to comply with something.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to this, and that's why it hasn't been released yet to the registry, and there's already a bunch of lawsuits in the works for this because obviously it's unconstitutional. It's going to have criminal effects on already law-abiding citizens.
Yeah.
And there's so much that it's going to change, and we keep finding out more and more as lawyers actually look into this some more. So Yeah.
It's just nuts.
Like some of those pistols that we were looking at the other day with Jacob,
Yeah.
and it's like, how would you change that? That's one of the ones that were imported as a pistol
Yep.
that you can't actually change.
Well, that too on your form, you just putting down it's a pistol, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how would they even know if it was one of those?
Because
Because all it says is pistol.
so on your form 4473, it's a pistol.
Yeah.
But then if you actually comply with the ATF and then try to register that under the Form 1 SBR, they're going to see what manufacturer that is, where it came from, all that.
That's when they dig into it.
Yeah. Because it says manufacturer and or importer, so you got to have those markings that are listed on there on the application. Plus, you got to take pictures of the gun itself. So when they're going through that, they're going to see that this was an imported pistol that is now illegal.
I'm shocked people just don't take pictures of like wooden like pipe from like Home Depot. Here you go, click, and just send a bajillion of them to them, and just overwhelm the database and server and make it crash.
So, like we've said, don't comply.
Yeah.
Obviously, wait. If for whatever reason this does go into effect, still wait, because you have that 120-day grace period, and there's already people going to fight it. And the Supreme Court isn't going to take this right away, or may not at all, because what they do is they rely on the lower state courts to do this. And if you have, like, say, the Ninth Circuit rule one way, and then like the Fifth Circuit rules another way, kind of against each other, then that's when maybe the Supreme Court will come into effect. But if they both kind of align, then...
Yeah, but they didn't do it for Kansas in our little rule that we had about you don't need a... As long as it, yeah. So...
Maybe because that wasn't such a big deal.
I don't think it's a big deal anyways. Here in Kansas, that's our rule.
Yep.
Following our rules, our local rules.
At a state level, in Kansas, we can make our own suppressors.
Yep.
But on a federal level, you can't.
Yeah.
So there was a veteran that made his own pistol, but unfortunately got caught by a Fed.
Yep.
Because he got caught by a Fed, he got charged.
Yep. Even though he had the paperwork with it, it says for Kansas use only, like it says in our rules.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where the ATF just needs to go away.
Yep.
And the NFA Act needs to be updated, because there is no reason that short-barreled rifles or short-barreled shotguns should be on there.
That or suppressors, I believe.
Exactly. Okay, we can agree.
Full autos, yeah.
As they probably shouldn't be, but you're never going to get that to convince all those left-wing people that we need easily accessible full autos. So they're still legal. You just got to go through this process, and they're really expensive. So most people
can afford.
So the common person like us just doesn't get it. But and with the price of ammo too, so we'll let that be. It is what it is. Suppressors protect your hearing.
Yep.
They are not super silent James Bond. Nobody will hear anything.
Yeah,
I still wear hearing protection when I'm shooting suppressed. Yeah. It's just a PPE. It's part of your PPE for shooting, just like your earmuffs and your glasses.
Yeah,
it
OSHA.
should be. I mean,
it's OSHA for guns, pretty much.
Yeah, and they come serialized, so there's paperwork. You still have to pass a background check and all that stuff for a suppressor. Just take it off the NFA.
Yep.
Take off short barrel rifles, because that was to stop criminal shit that it was going back on in the 1930s or whenever the hell that was developed.
When most of us were either not even thought of yet or weren't even alive.
Yep. And even the government, like we said in the last podcast, screwed up with that when they were giving out or selling the M1 carbines. So, and like we've said, they're not that concealable.
No.
Yeah. You could take a regular 16-inch or longer AR-15, take it apart, still fit it in a backpack, just like you would a pistol.
Yep. I don't know. It's scary, I guess. That's the only reason why.
Yes.
It's scary. Just like in the media now, we have assault pistols, apparently. Mm-hmm. I thought they were talking about the Glock switch, but no, they're talking about just regular semi-automatic.
Yep. So I got a clip on that, too. We'll play that in the mags. But one last thing with NFA. So I saw a video today that if you go on ATF's website or some other websites, there's FAQs that a lot of people have regarding NFA items because there's a lot of, hey, what can I do? I don't know exactly what, because it doesn't come with instructions when you get it. So it's like, one of them is the suppressor. We'll go with suppressors. If I have the suppressor under my name, it has to stay in my possession. It used to be that if, say, we were to go to the gun range, as long as I was there, you could shoot the gun with the suppressor on there, or say a short barrel rifle, as long as I'm there. Now they've changed it to where it's a no. The only person that can shoot that suppressor or gun with a suppressor is the person that is on that Form 1. So you can't take your friends and let them shoot your cool suppressor, even though you're there. And it used to be under their FAQ that, yes, that's fine, as long as you're present.
Yeah.
And you can't let your friend borrow it overnight or go away from you. You have to be present in that situation. Used to be fine. But now they've changed it without telling anybody to where it's no, the actual possessor of the firearm or the suppressor that's, filled out the paperwork and gotten approved for it, nobody else can touch it.
I guess we're going to be seeing a lot of Titanic people at the gun range now.
Yeah.
Holding each other. All right, you ready? Yep. Okay.
And this is where gun trusts are kind of nice because, say, like your wife, you could put your wife on a gun trust and just have that suppressor under a gun trust. So anybody part of that trust
can have access to it.
Mm-hmm. So say you pass away, Kat can still have it.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like my wife isn't on the trust yet, so if something happens to me, she is not lawfully legal to have that suppressor. She has to basically turn it in or sell it to a dealer that has a Form 4 license.
I would sell it to a dealer.
Yeah.
Air quotes.
Yep, exactly. So that's another thing. It's like they're trying to fuck with us with the NFA items and not announce things, and there's a lot of stuff. Their ultimate goal here is to start a registration and just basically ban all guns.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what they're trying to do.
And it sucks.
Stupid.
Going back to California, there's a few different things. One is Governor Newsom and the state of California have introduced a bill to ban civilians from purchasing or possessing body armor. Okay, so if you've watched the news recently, obviously there's been several different shootings, and what they classify as mass shootings in that area. Whether or not they're gang related, it doesn't matter to the press or the Democrats. It's still a mass shooting.
Yeah,
and terrible, which they are. They're terrible. It should never happen, but they don't get the full background story. Anyway, body armor is protecting you from these shootings, and they want to ban you from having it. So,
oh my gosh.
Not only are they trying to take your guns away so you can't protect yourself, but they're also trying to take armor away so you can't protect yourself.
So they just want more people dead. That's
Pretty
the way
much.
It sounds like.
Like what? Like most people going to rob your house or doing these drive-by shootings or whatever, most of them don't have on body armor. Some of them have had it on, which it's really only protecting your vitals. If you get shot in the head, neck, freaking legs, arms, I mean, if you could still die from that. It's just giving you, even now they have the inserts that go in backpacks.
Yep.
That would be illegal because that's some sort of type of body armor. So you're really just hurting law-abiding citizens by banning all of this stuff.
That can protect themselves.
Because a criminal is going to do what they want to do no matter what, and they don't get that.
It's crazy, too, that California, one of the strictest gun states, is having this and having an issue with mass shootings, but yet they don't want you to protect themselves. So
I know. It's funny.
It's like a double negative.
Yeah. All these shootings just happen to be in the state with one of the most strictest gun control.
Yeah.
And they want to make things even worse. Yeah. And unfortunately, Newsom, for some Democrats, are a good candidate for the next president.
Yeah.
Which, if he becomes president, holy shit. He's going to be worse than Joe Biden, than Obama,
Yeah.
freaking Clinton. Like he is. It's going to really be hard for the Second Amendment if he were to make it.
We just need to overthrow the government almost at this point and start from scratch.
Joe Biden said in order to fight the government, you have to have F-15s.
Apparently not. I've heard that all you need is 3 bad motherfuckers to go in and wreck
Right?
a fucking country.
But yeah, one of his arguments is about us civilians needing AR-15s is to protect us from tyranny of the government and all this stuff. And Joe Biden keeps saying you need F-15s and tanks and all this stuff, nukes to fight the government. So he's basically telling us that we can't.
Everything that he gave away. Let's
Yeah.
talk about gun control. He gave away I don't know how much in weaponry.
31 tanks as of today.
Yeah. And how much money was just wasted? Our tax-paying dollars just gone.
So the whole reason our country was founded by
Yeah.
fighting
The government.
the government, they are trying to make it impossible for that to ever happen again.
They need to go back over to Europe. We'll just send our government over to Europe. They can take over there, and we'll take back
Let's
our
just
country.
make the Upper East and California separate countries.
Yeah.
You can ban all guns you want. Just stay away. That's why I'm glad I live in Kansas. It's like we would like to move somewhere different, but man,
Some of these other states and their laws.
yeah.
are
Even
stupid.
Florida, like we would love to move to Florida, but yeah, it's getting a little
Yeah.
down there. But
We need to find that gray area, like between North America and Canada or something, that no one owns. We own it, and that becomes our country.
yeah.
Or go build ourselves an island. That'll be our country. We have our own rules.
So like you were saying with the magazines and the clips.
Yeah.
So I have a couple clips to play. This is the first one that came out.
The weapon that
Or no.
we recovered at that second scene, I'm describing as a magazine-fed, semi-automatic assault pistol. Not an assault rifle, but an assault pistol that had an extended large-capacity magazine attached to it.
But that was the L.A. sheriff after that last shooting where the guy used the Mac 10 style pistol. And it was semi-auto. So if you know anything about those guns, those are garbage guns,
Yeah.
especially even in the semi-automatic version. But now we've gone from assault rifles, assault weapons, to now there's assault pistols. And nobody should have those.
First off, they need to go back and do their research. Every time they say assault rifle or assault pistol, it's a fully auto weapon by definition.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a fully auto pistol. So, and what makes it even more disturbing is that, yeah, you are an officer of the law and you don't know the difference between a gun and you've got one.
Yeah.
Like, you make yourself look like a fucking idiot at that point.
So we've got that L.A. sheriff, which isn't surprising because he's in California, so he probably thinks nobody there should own guns either. But now we have the governor regarding magazines.
It's always a weapon of mass destruction, isn't it? I mean, I get it. We can talk about the anomalous nature of this, and it certainly is. But what is also anomalous is the fact that there's a pattern here in the United States of America of these mass shootings that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world, just freedom. And maybe that should be the fundamental focus. Large capacity clips, just insane. There's no justification, period, full stop. It's insane. These people are perpetuating lunacy and should be ashamed of themselves.
But when you said the Second Amendment was
Feels like it increasingly.
but there's many people in this country
She blurred out suicidal pacts.
and are lawful gun owners.
Yeah, I have great respect. I have no ideological opposition to someone reasonably and responsibly owning firearms and getting background checks and being trained and making sure they're locked so their kid doesn't accidentally shoot themselves or a loved one. Absolutely not. Never suggested that. That's what they immediately do. Who wants to take away your guns? I just want to take away weapons of war that are illegal on the streets of California and should be illegal across the United States. I mean, just literally use common.
Weapons of mass destruction is what he's now calling these.
Oh my God.
Isn't that what Joe Biden's referring to as nukes?
Yeah.
that we need to fight the government. So now these assault rifles, assault pistols, are now guns are just assault mass
Oh my gosh.
scary terms.
Yeah.
Weapons of mass destruction. You have what? At least 2 of them.
Yeah.
I got. I'm not going to say, but we are lunatics because we should have in their minds whatever they deem high capacity magazines, which is anything over 10 at this point.
Yeah.
She said that he had said that the Second Amendment was a suicide pact, suicidal pact or whatever.
Pretty sure that's why Japan did not come and try to invade us during World War II, because they were scared shitless. And if you go to any of these other countries, I mean, they still have, like Australia, they had banned guns. I don't know how many years ago. Didn't they just have a mass shooting within the last year or two? Mm-hmm. So obviously your gun controls do not fucking work. They never will. They need to get through their heads. You guys spend all this money on these Ivy League educations, but apparently you don't know shit. Like, grow the fuck up. You want to go see what mass destruction is? Go in these third world countries where someone steals something, they cut off your hand. Mm-hmm. Or you take someone's life, they take your life. You want to say how we're crazy for having these, but we got to protect against the people, because apparently our law does not allow these people, gangs and everything. They just get away with killing people all the time, but yet it's fine for them to get away with it, and we get penalized for it. So
what if we do what he says and we just get rid of guns in general for your civilians?
Okay, so then
isn't that going to make us all safer? And
didn't the government already do that
crime?
to the Indians and turn around and mass?
Oh, but Joe Biden would never do
Oh,
that.
bullshit.
So if we
can't trust our government, and what was the Reagan? He always kept saying, if the government says we're here to help, that's the most terrifying word you'll ever hear.
Yep.
How many times has this administration have said that?
Yep.
Probably 10, 15 times within this last couple of years.
And the government's going to dictate who they help, how they help you. We've seen that with Katrina, stuff like that. So,
I mean, look, Russia invaded Ukraine. They were handing their civilians any weapons they can get their hands on.
But in our government's mind, that will never happen here because we have them to protect us.
No, we don't, because
yeah.
Russia's bigger than us. There's a lot of other countries that are bigger than us. And if you're going to take what we have, our Second Amendment, away from us completely, just wait.
But
we're going to get invaded like that overnight.
But if we turn in all our guns, that's going to stop crime, right? Because that even people that are going to rob other people, or
you got a kitchen knife?
But
that'll be the new thing. It'll be an assault knife.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing assault pistols now. We're going to have assault knives.
But everybody follows the law. So if guns are illegal, why would you do harm to somebody with a knife?
I'll tell you what, I'll get rid of my guns when the government gets rid of theirs. Everything.
Yeah.
You want us to trust you? I'll trust you when you do the same thing that you're trying to do to us.
It's just funny.
There's double standards here.
Yeah. Their argument that we should... Ultimately, they're skirting around it, but they especially Newsom, we should basically not have guns. And that's why we, like you said, every time he says something, it's like we cry that they're trying to take our guns. That's the end goal. You're just not admitting that.
You're trying to change our Constitution pretty much.
Yes.
What our forefathers... And if you're going to change that, let's change media. Because I don't know, this last week I watched a clip. They kept saying there's like 15, 20 different clips, and they all said the exact same thing, like verbatim, every one of them. There's like 15 different media outlets that said the exact same verbatim line. And I was like, that's interesting. And it's like, wonder where their agenda is coming from. Democratic Party, because they kept saying these extreme right Republicans, and they're doing, it's like, come on, every one of you said the exact same thing now. Mm-hmm. So who's backing you? And if you want to get rid of our guns, let's get rid of the media then. Freedom of press.
If we were to get rid of guns and everything were to be perfect, there's no crime because nobody has guns, so nobody's going to do anything. What's the media going to talk about? at that point.
Not a damn thing. And it wouldn't even shock me if the government wasn't behind a lot of these mass shootings at this point, just so they can get their agenda.
Scary people.
Because you know they're doing it.
And again, all the ones lately have been in that state that has
The strictest gun control.
Mm-hmm. So obviously gun control is not working
Yep.
because these criminals are going to do harm no matter what. So you're just hurting people. And now you're seeing a lot more people trying to stop these threats.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they don't have guns to stop them. They have to wrestle them like that
Yeah.
one guy did.
But like, they don't have the manpower to stop this. You really think you're going to go door to door trying to take people's guns? We'll have a new revolutionary war at our hands, or civil war.
Well, the government doesn't have the manpower to do that.
Yeah,
One.
at all. And at that point, you're invoking domestic terrorists on your own thing. And if you're anybody in the military, you're not supposed to do that. Yes, you are supposed to obey, but you're also supposed to prevent anything foreign or domestic.
Yeah, there was a Iraq veteran was talking about this. If your commanding officer tells you to do something that you know is illegal,
Yep, you're not supposed to do it.
so, and like with Illinois, trying to ban AR-15s, you have a lot of these sheriff's departments that are saying that they're not going to enforce that because they know it's against the 2A. And
Yep.
so you would have, if for some reason they were to ban all guns, you would have some sheriffs, like the one there in LA County,
Yeah.
for it, but then you would have the ones against it and trying to protect our rights. So, I mean, you're going to have it's going to be like the freaking Civil War. You're going to have red versus blue
Yep.
all over again.
That's pretty much almost the direction it's becoming anymore.
You know, you have cops out there that, think we shouldn't have
Yeah.
ARs or guns in general or higher capacity mags. And then you have others that love guns and have
Yep.
a whole bunch and all
They're
this
all
stuff
for
that are for the Second Amendment. So you got both sides. Probably the same thing in the military.
Oh, yeah.
Buttigieg and that other freaking guy. What was the one that tried to run for president? Was that Buttigieg? Buttigieg. He was governor of, not governor of Texas. He ran for governor of Texas recently. Buttigieg.
I can't remember.
One of those two. He's the openly gay senator or
something like that.
anyway. He fought in the military and is anti-guns, trying to ban AR-15s. He's admitted when he was running for president that we shouldn't have these weapons of war. He was the guy that actually admitted that we will take your AR-15s, your AK-47s. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's that guy.
Yeah.
He was in the armed forces, and you have somebody in the armed forces that is
Yeah.
telling this to their civilians. It's like the AR-15s that we have are not weapons of war. They're not mass destructive devices.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
unfortunately,
pretty
you got
sure
some
I
people
can't
that
flip
are
a switch and just hold the trigger down and watch 30 rounds come out in a blink.
I wish I could because it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
But it's to the point to where it's a health issue, like the mental illness crisis or whatever you want to call it. It's
that's their cry for
people doing harm to other people is the issue.
Yep.
It's just how they do it.
And you know what? That's usually a reflection of your leadership. So that would be a reflection of our government and how they're going against each other instead of working for each other, for the people.
Maybe don't have your very young kid that's going through all sorts of changes and maybe being bullied at school or something, playing Call of Duty for 5 hours a day.
I mean,
because he probably thinks, or like GTA, or not GTA,
Yeah.
what's the, not GTA, the,
GTA is another big bad game that kids probably shouldn't be playing.
what's the one where you go around and basically have free reign of the city?
That's GTA.
Is it?
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. That is a terrible game
Yeah.
because it makes you think that you can just go around and
There was a kid that actually, this was like back in 2008, I think. I read an article where a kid actually took one of the missions from Grand Theft Auto and did it in real life. Like, this game is rated M for mature. First off, kids shouldn't have it unless they're over, I think, 18 for mature games.
Is that 18?
I think it's 18. So why the hell do you got these elementary kids playing Call of Duty when they shouldn't be. I mean, everything relates to each other. And if most of the people are a reflection of their leadership. So if they don't think it's right, guess what? They're going to do exactly how their leadership or our government is acting.
My computer's listening to us right now.
Oh, that's not good.
Man,
I didn't get that.
there's a lot
Could you
of
try again?
No, I don't want to try again.
Siri, go away. There's a lot of times I've been talking in my room, all of a sudden Siri pops up.
I swear today we were at work, we were talking about something at Harbor Freight, and the guy's phone, next thing he had on his ad was Harbor Freight. And he's like, that is scary. It's like, yeah, everything's listening to us.
But going back to the kids playing the game, it's a lot different. You're seeing more and more shootings and stuff because there's a lot more people being bullied than there were. Yeah, back in, say, like the 80s and, when we went to school, you were still getting bullied, but once you went home,
It was gone.
it was gone.
Now you got social media, you got social bullying everywhere.
Which
That's a mental
Is-
issue.
the social media bullying is almost worse than anything else because you have people hiding behind their computers. Like even on my YouTube videos,
Keyboard warriors, what I call them.
people will say shit and it gets to me, but I'm like, you're just some asshole who doesn't even make videos, so you don't even know what goes into this, and you're just criticizing people to be a troll. So you have those people that just beat down other people, and you can't get away from that, and it's affecting so many people now.
Yep.
And when a switch freaking flips and you
Yep. People can't take it. Everyone's got that breaking point. And once you hit that breaking point, it's game over at that point.
Yeah. Could you take an AR-15 to the school where you're getting bullied and do a lot of damage? Yes. Could you also hijack the school bus and freaking run everybody over? Yes. You're going to find a way to do harm. Like the last two in California were older,
Yep.
what looked like Asian
Yep.
type guys. Like these guys were old and they went into their work for whatever reason we don't know yet, started shooting.
Yep.
So it's
Yeah. Social media, I like it because you can connect to people that you technically can't, or like friends from years ago. You can check in and make sure everything's good. But there's also that X factor where people can create havoc on others. And like it sucks because I don't know. Like I think it's kind of I don't know how I would say it, be politically correct, but I think it's bullshit.
First of all, the fact that you have to try and be politically correct,
Yeah, I know.
is another problem with our society.
Yeah, like it's your opinion. You should be able to have your opinions. You don't have to worry about what other people think. And then social media, people keep using that to bullying, and then you got AI now that factors into everything. Like it's just a roller coaster at this point. Like there's no end. There's no, like once it starts, it's game over because AI can then take over. And who's to say the government's not behind that?
And it's all like the freaking M&M's characters.
Yep.
They changed the shoes, and people had such a problem with the shoes that they changed on the girls that now they're not doing those characters anymore.
Yeah, it's
Fucking seriously.
everyone's snowflakes anymore too. Like there's no real grit in people. They're all like, it's got to be my way or the highway. Okay, cool. That's your opinion. Get the fuck over it. This is the real world.
Yep. We got people now that just can't
Well,
take...
that, and I think a lot of it's because how people are raised anymore. Like parents aren't allowed to really discipline kids anymore without getting in trouble. So you got parents that are scared shitless on disciplining their kids. So what are you supposed to do?
You got everybody that's, like you said, my way or the highway. You got everybody's divided because if you can't agree on something, then you're enemies with that person, even though you can't agree on like one topic. And it's just getting out of control with the whole politically correct, what do they call it, woke thing.
Yeah.
This is getting it's way out of hand. The fact that we're changing what we teach in history and
Yeah.
all the monuments that have been taken down, the renames of everything. It's just
Once you start deleting history will repeat itself.
Yeah.
It's like that's the first thing they teach us about history.
do
Pretty
they
much.
even teach that anymore?
Probably not. That's probably what the problem is.
Yeah.
But like that, and I don't know. They need to just come together, work as one, because that's what their goal is supposed to be. Instead of, I mean, look at the Speaker of the House. How many fucking votes? They still come back to the same person.
Was it 13?
Yeah, like 13 or 14 times. Why couldn't it have been done on the first?
Or why didn't they just choose somebody else?
Exactly.
Why that guy?
Yep.
Okay. He didn't get voted for even after 10 times.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's look
pick
at someone
somebody
else.
Let's vote for this other person. See how their
Yeah.
vote goes. Like, unfortunately, that guy's from California, so I
Yeah.
don't trust him, even though he says he's a Republican.
Yeah.
Still not trustworthy. But it's here or there.
Yeah, it's just like you're supposed to work as one. You're supposed to work for the people, not for your party. So
Yep.
it's a bad time to live in.
Man, I
this
wish
country.
we had better things to talk about that are like happy.
I know it's hard.
Like, yeah, we were like, cool things from SHOT Show, kind of limited.
Yep.
And then all this crap with the.
Yeah.
Maybe our next episode that we do something that's a little more upbeat.
Hopefully, it'll be about the Chiefs beating the shit out of the Bengals.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, I think we're about that hour mark,
Yep.
so probably cut it. So yeah, the next episode we're gonna do is gonna be a 2-parter, just because my wife and I are going to Florida.
Lucky.
So Chris and I are gonna record an extra one this weekend and try and break it up. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Heck yeah.
Maybe we'll get super drunk.
Maybe. Just start talking about random shit.
Right. No. But yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning in. If, let us know in the comments what you think about anything we've talked about, the clips that we showed, what's going on with this pistol stuff, what you guys think about it. If there's anything else you've found out that we haven't discussed, let us know, because the more information we get out,
The
the
better.
better. Because there are literally people that don't follow gun YouTube channels or stuff like that. How are you going to know?
Yeah.
I have yet to see a news article
Yeah.
covering any of this.
You think that with this big rule that it'd be blasted all over
Yeah.
every media, newspaper, anything, and you don't.
There's going to be a lot of people out there that have that set up and bought it as a pistol that are going to have no idea that this rule is out there.
Yep.
Especially if they're not on-
Law-abiding citizens
Yeah,
with that.
unless you follow the gun YouTubers, you have no idea. Like, I would have had no idea
Yeah.
if I didn't follow gun YouTubers or, happen to be an FFL.
Yep.
If you were just some Joe Schmo who had that gun and doesn't really shoot very often or aren't, into the internet, because there's still people that aren't
Yeah.
the internet or stuff like that, you have no idea you could potentially become a
A felon.
felon and be subject to $250,000 and up to 10 years in jail.
For something that you bought that was legal at the time.
Yes. So, let us know down there.
Yeah.
Chris.
Remember, this is a YouTube podcast. So remember to like, subscribe, and tickle our bell. Leave any comments so we can get back to you. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify podcasts, please like, follow, and if you're listening to us on the other platform, do the same. And with that, have a good one.